Hello and happy Friday to you. Way to go on your outlines. I'm excited to learn more about your memories and see how you put them together using your interesting sentences and phrases and all the things you've been learning this year about how to write beautifully and interestingly. We're going to start that process right now. If you will turn back to your page in your composition book, you've got your journal, you've got second grade memories at the top with your outline. I want you to turn to the next page, the next blank page. It may have taken you a couple of pages, but the next blank page over here, this is going to be our rough draft. I want you to put RD in that top box corner so that you remember that this is, when I refer to take out your rough draft, this is what we're going to do. We're all going to start, for now, we're going to start our first sentence the same, and then later on, when you're editing, you can change it around. But for now, I want you to follow me exactly. I want you to not write anything on this top line. I just want you to draw a little line on top of that line. That's where your title is going to go eventually. That's important. And I want you to put by on the next line. And then I want you to put your full name right here. First and last name. Okay? And then I'm going to have you skip the next line, so put an X there. And then I'm going to have you make your little arrow indentation. That's called to indent. That opens the door for your reader to start reading. That happens on the line under your X. And you're going to write this sentence exactly. The two things, and you're going to write with a capital letter. You're going to spell it correctly because this part you're just copying from Mrs. Lecce. The two things I really, now when you start to get down to the next line, I want you to put an X. Do not write on the next baseline down. We're skipping lines. Once you find your X and your arrow, and then the next line has an X, then I want every other line on the way down the page, I want you to take a moment and put little X's on every other line all the way down so that we can edit next week and be okay. The two things I really, now you can say the two things I really enjoyed about second grade, or you can say the two things I really remember about second grade. You can use either one. I'm going to put enjoyed, but above that, I'm going to put remember. If you would rather use remember, you can use that. You decide. The things I really remember about, and you're going to spell out second. And you're not going to capitalize them. The two things I really enjoyed about second grade were. Now, I want you to put a little up above next to that top baseline. I want you to put a little 1 with a circle around it. You see that? You see that? Now, you're going to turn back over to this page, and you're going to turn this number 1 into this blank. So the two things I really enjoyed about second grade were morning greetings at the door is number 1, so I'm going to put my number 1 right there. Make sure it makes sense. You put your number 1 there. And I'm going to add classroom door. You can add something to make that phrase make sense if you need to. Read what you have so far. Pause if you need to catch up. The two things I really enjoyed about second grade were, I have my little number 1, morning greetings at the classroom door, and, please put the word and there because you have 2 memories, and then put a little 2 with a circle around it. I need to see that to show that you have both of your points on here. Then turn back to your outline and look at your number 2 and write that one down. Do that now. Add any words that you think you need to make it make sense. And then end it with a period. Now, I'm going to read mine, and you're going to tell me whether it makes sense. The two things I really enjoyed about second grade were morning greetings at the classroom door and drive-by birthday party during stay-at-home school. Doesn't quite make sense. I might want to put and the drive-by. So if I want to add something after I've already written it, I can put a little arrow, a little caret arrow. Remember those? Put that little arrow, and I can put the and the drive-by. That means I need to drop that word the down in there, and I already know I need to do that. This is not your final draft, but this should already be a complete sentence. It should have your number 1 and your number 2, and it should start the same as mine. Okay, now I need you to put another little 1 at the beginning of that period right there, after you finish those 2. You're gonna have to go back and state your number 1 again. And you're gonna talk about it. The morning greetings started at, so just start right in with 1 and 1A. So you're gonna say what that first one is, the morning greetings, and you're gonna make a sentence saying what your first memory was, and then move right into sentences that talk about 1A, and then sentences that talk about 1B, okay? So I'm gonna write 1A, and then I'm gonna put a period after I finish that, and then I'm gonna put 1B. Every time you move down this list by turning these from your outline into sentences, you're gonna show me that that's the one you're on right up above with a circle. 1A, period, 1B, make those into sentences. And then your next sentence is gonna be 2A. I like the drive-by birthday parties because there were exuberant cheers, and you're gonna move into turning the rest of this into sentences. So then you're gonna have a 2 after you have 1B and turn that into a sentence. You're gonna have 2B, and you're gonna keep writing. I'm not gonna do all of this with you right here because your paper is gonna look different than mine. The thing that's gonna look the same is you're gonna have the ideas from your outline turned into sentences as you go along. And once you hit down here to 2, you're gonna have to talk about the next point. Turn those into sentences, keep turning them into sentences that make sense, and give me a full bit of information about your memory, and then finish it with, I'm thankful to God for these second grade memories. So after you get through 2B, 2A, and 2B, you'll probably be using several pieces of paper. When you turn the page, remember to put your X's on every other line so that all the way through your whole rough draft, your every other line is written on. At the very end, you finished your 2B, you've told about that, you put your period, and then your conclusion is going to be same as right here. And you're gonna start with I'm thankful. You can use a contraction. Look at that, you learned those this year. I'm thankful to God, and you're gonna write that conclusion sentence just like it is here. Thankful to God for these second grade memories, period. Okay? If you have any questions about that, I want you to shoot me a question in Teams, and I can walk you through any of it that sounds confusing, but I want you to give it a first try. Get all of your outline into sentences so that we can take a look at it and start editing it on Monday. Okay? Actually, not Monday, because we have Monday off. Monday's a holiday on Tuesday.